And we are live. What's
Woo!
up, mi gente?
What's good?
How's everybody doing today?
Amazing.
Hope everyone's having an amazing day, amazing Friday, dude. It's
Yeah,
Friday.
it's Friday.
Thank
Nice.
God it's Friday. How are you doing, Ellie?
I'm wonderful. I'm firing in all cylinders and I'm ready to give you guys a piece of that. So sit down and listen.
Yep. So, hope everyone's having an amazing day.
Mhm,
My name is Jimmy, and Ellie here
mhm.
next to me. And we decided to make this short video to talk about how the title says how to identify with toxic work environment.
Mhm. Correct.
Based on our own experience with Ellie, and what we've been through these past years,
Mhm.
we thought it would be a good idea to share with you guys out there who might be going through the same thing at the moment that we went a couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
And so you can get some really good tips and solutions that are gonna help you thrive, right?
Exactly. And I mean, we made this video specific to a toxic work environment, but of course, it would apply universally to everything,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, just because it's a work environment doesn't mean that only work environments can be toxic. No, your household can be toxic. Where if you go take classes, that can be toxic.
I know
Uh,
it's crazy.
yeah, literally any place can be toxic. What you watch on TV can be toxic, and it's not necessarily an environment. So, it's just a couple key pointers so that you can be more aware of information you're consuming, the places you're around, and the things you accept around you, and to be able to identify which things are going to work in your benefit and which actually aren't so much. So,
So yeah, let's dive right into it.
yeah.
And for me, I will start my number one tip if you're how to identify a work environment. It will be where you are in a place there's no forward movement. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No
um
progress.
no progress. Yeah, you just there go there like every day to see the same thing, see the same people, and no motivation at all. Like you don't have a good relationship with your co-workers or business partners. You just kind of fall into this routine that it becomes like toxic. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Hmm.
Then sometimes you have a good job out there and making good money, but like because of the routine that you fall into, because there's no forward movement, uh this starts becoming toxic, that you don't want to be there no more because you don't have the right culture, the right people, to make the whole place, the whole environment move forward. You know what I mean? Sharing goals, accomplish goals, and all that kind of stuff. Makes sense? Do you want to go with yours?
Yeah. So my number one is how do you feel, right? Do you dread going into, I mean, specifically to this video, into that environment? Do you feel like you get a stomach ache? Do you feel nervous, right? You got to listen to your feelings sometimes. They're the best indicator as to um, identifying things that aren't actually said, right? Nobody's going to tell you, hey, good morning. Welcome to another day of a toxic environment, right? Nobody's going to say that. But the whole time that you are there, you're going to feel it, right? So it's very important to not just push that to the side. And like Jimmy said, it might be a place where you might be making very good money. It might be a place where they might, compensate you very well. But if you are not okay, feeling okay with being there, there's something behind that. So let's start there. How do you feel going in to work every single day and having to collaborate with these people? That's going to be a huge indicator to identifying if that is a toxic work environment or if it's an environment that actually suits and pleases you and makes you happy.
Great.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's super important. And just to continue with this, like these are real experiences that we have been gone through in the past. Like for example, my number one tip, it would be micromanagement.
Mhm.
It has happened to me um in the past, jobs, either even at my church place, I took some leadership position couple years ago there, and like, even when they said that you're a leader, but sometimes, like, they don't let you be that leader. They still are trying to control you, micromanagement and every little thing. And you're like, okay, if you're telling me I'm a leader, why you trying to control me? Why you still tell me how to do things? Like, leaders, they're supposed to, like,
Yeah.
develop their own, and be how do you say, like, you got to come with solutions. That's
Yeah.
why you're a leader, right? But that's being one of the things for me. Like, I would say my number one tip, it's on how to identify like, toxic work environment. It's pay attention to that, to the micromanagement, because that makes you feel like crap straight up.
Yeah.
When you have good ideas, that that you have good value that you can share, and you can put that environment, that workplace, that company to the next level, and there are people trying to micromanagement every freaking single way.
Mhm.
It's you know it's not good. It just make you suffer in the inside, they just crush you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I understand. They limit your creativity. They
Exactly.
put you in a position to bloom, yet they're doing everything they can to suppress you and suppress your ideas and not give them value. Very true, very valid. My number two is what do you see? Uh, how supported, how do you feel? Are you supported or are you being put down? And it kind of translates a little bit towards what you said. um, because understand, there's a very fine line between being supported, being challenged, being appreciated, and being suppressed.
So
It's
true.
a very fine line, but it all the only difference is the feedback you get. How do you receive that feedback? Right? Is it somewhat okay? I see where you're coming from. Let me explain to you how I took that concept, how I took that idea, or let me explain to you why I think you're wrong. Or let me explain to you how I think you're right. Right? So it's the reciprocity. Okay.
Correct.
If you are taking your job very seriously and you are doing everything you can to support the company, support its growth, support its culture, and when you put good work out there, how is it being received by the other people you're providing it to? Okay. So listen to that feedback. Listen to the support. Listen to are you being put down? Listen to how you feel after you put that out there, right? Because they're expecting you to complete a certain task, a certain job. And once you did, the way that they receive it is going to matter a lot to you. That will determine whether you keep growing in that company and you want to be part of the company and you keep pushing it up, or now you are kind of the company's enemy. You see the company as your enemy.
That's so true.
And in reality, it's not the company, it's not the vision, it's just specific people, it's just specific feedback, it's just specific sentences, and yet here you are crushing yourself. And stop believing overall in the company itself. And guess what? Overall your day now just turned upside down, and
Yes.
that will be a complete loss, not just for the company but for yourself. It's now going to hinder your creativity, it's now going to hinder your enthusiasm, and it's going to make you show up a little less every single day than before. And who is that ultimately going to harm? You.
Yourself. Yeah.
You don't want to
That's
do that to yourself.
that's a great point.
Mhm.
So true. And my number three tip to deal pretty much with toxic work environment, it's lack of communication.
Mm,
And I'm sure everyone has gone through this before, when you feel some type of way, but because you lack, I guess, communication skills, you
yeah.
just walk away and you don't say anything.
Yeah.
Right, Ellie?
Hmm.
So yeah, lack of communication, it's super important, because like in, like in a family,
Yeah.
si no estás comunicándote con tu familia,
Hmm.
no hay esa comunicación exacta, y de ahí dependen muchos problemas,
Yeah.
depende de los niños, se van a la casa, la esposa, el esposo está enfocada en otras cosas. So, para mí, el lack of communication ha sido algo súper importante porque te ayuda a desarrollar tus habilidades de comunicación y expresar lo que estás sintiendo en esa manera a la persona que necesitas decírselo de la forma correcta, sin ser, sin estar enojado o sin ofender a otra persona, que te ha pasado a ti, a mí en el pasado,
Yeah.
you know, que es like we bump
Yeah.
heads and then like we both get into our emotions and se enoja unos días, semanas, you know, y eso es pérdida de tiempo para la compañía, para cada uno de nosotros, y nuestra comunicación, en vez de elevar, disminuye. No tendría que ser así. Eso es muy importante, identificar eso y sobresalir en esa área, aprender las habilidades que necesitas para comunicarte de la manera efectiva o apropiada en tu sistema de trabajo, en tu compañía o con tu familia.
Exactamente. Okay. And very important, you pointed that out. Because yes, the lack of communication, it goes both ways. Va de ambos lados, ¿verdad? La responsabilidad es de dos personas, ¿ok? Si estás hablando tú solo o con el espejo, ok, es tu sola responsabilidad, ¿verdad? Pero si estás hablando con alguien más, la responsabilidad es de ambas personas. If you're talking with someone else, the responsibility goes both ways.
Yes.
So, can you communicate properly? And is the other person communicating to you properly? Of course, correct. Set your own boundaries, right? That have to be respected. And people should communicate with you in a certain way, right? Same thing as you. Take responsibility for how you talk to people. Maybe sometimes you're the one who's not communicating effectively, and that's where it all starts, with self-accountability.
Yes.
And my number 3 is take a second to just stop and listen. Okay, in your work environment, what do conversations sound like? Okay, if you talk to many different coworkers, if you talk to many different departments, if you have many different managers on top of you, or teammates down below you, anywhere, it does not matter. Take a second to just take a breather, relax, do not say anything, and let other people speak. What do the conversations sound like? Okay, are they talking about growth? Are they talking about plans? Are they having debates? Are they talking about
gossiping?
Yeah, or that's the other end of it, right? Are they just gossiping? Are they just talking mad load of BS about other people?
When's the next party gonna be?
When's the next potluck gonna be? You know, it's very important that will literally, if anything, that eso solito eso, just listening to people how they speak, solamente escuchando a la gente cómo habla, de qué habla, puedes tú determinar la gente qué les importa, qué les interesa, y saber si tus intereses están allí donde mismo, right? You can identify what they're interested in, what they want to talk about, and see if your interests align with that. It's very important that if you don't align with that, you shouldn't play a part where you're like, oh my God, I'm interested. Or in order to make these hours bearable, let me gossip with them. You're not being true to yourself then. You're not respecting who you say you are. It is much better to have lunch alone, to have time alone, than it is to fake being someone that you're not. You're disrespecting yourself at that point. You're losing credibility on yourself, and you're doing yourself a disservice. So it is very important to
identify conversations.
Yeah, identify conversations that you should be in, and those that you shouldn't be in, those you shouldn't be a part of. And there's nothing wrong with that. People will always misunderstand you.
And they're gonna label you like, oh, look at that smart kid or whatever, you know, and they could label you with anything, but like, don't take it the wrong way.
No, don't take it personal.
Don't take it personal.
No, those labels won't apply to you if you don't let them. Okay, yes. So those labels, another person spoke of them and you didn't accept them. They're just saying that you are that, but if you don't accept that, then it doesn't apply to you. You shouldn't listen to it, you know. So it's very important for you to select what conversations you should form a part of and which ones you shouldn't, and have the self-respect to take yourself to another room if you shouldn't be there.
Great.
Hmm.
Perfect. Great topics.
Right.
Well, I guess this is our
Yeah.
these are our tips for today,
Uh-huh.
and we hope you guys take some good value out of this and
Mhm.
put this in practice. If you guys are going through crazy work environment out there,
Yeah.
espero que sea de mucha ayuda.
Mhm.
Y no olviden darnos un like, suscribirse, porque vamos a seguir poniendo más contenido aquí en este canal.
Definitivamente.
¿Ah?
Definitivamente. Yes, definitely. And you guys put this in practice and really think about this. This is something very serious to consider. Whatever job you're in, whatever work environment, or whatever your family environment looks like, you don't have to be there. You don't have to accept it. You can always reinvent it to what it is that should be better, at least for you, right?
Yes.
At least for you. So take care of yourself, because the more you take care of yourself, the
And your
better,
mental
and your
health,
mental health,
which is the most
yeah,
important thing.
the better you will be on in life.
Yeah,
And the better
exactly.
you can serve your company, the better you can serve your family. It all starts with you and how you serve people. Now, if the environment around you is only shutting you down, it's only hurting you, then how are you going to show up to the world? You're going to show up as a wounded person, and you're not going to help as much. You're not going to be much of a lighthouse. You're not going to be much of an inspiration.
And then you're exposing yourself to kind of like fall into the victim
Yeah,
mentality,
true.
So whenever you experience stuff like that, like Ellie said, like toxic work environment,
Mhm.
sometimes it's better off just to leave.
Yeah,
If it's out of your control, just leave, man.
yeah,
I did that back in 2019.
yeah.
Yeah, it was the best decision that I ever made.
And start over. You can
Yeah.
always pick yourself up and start over again. For whatever reason that it is that you feel there today, analyze your environment and then decide to make a change as soon as possible.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it, guys, for today. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Soon we're gonna upload more content. And Ellie, do you have anything to say?
No, I think I got everything I needed off my chest.
Perfect. Give us some comments down below, guys, and give us some, opinions and thoughts about this video. And we wish you a very blessed weekend. Stay
Mhm.
safe out there. God bless, and see you guys soon.
See you guys on the next one. Nice.